Hello everyone. It's 6:59. If anyone is here, please say hello. This is Michelle from Shelly's Craft Cottage. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in South Carolina, Aiken, South Carolina. And this is Mystery Card Monday, number 20. I always miss the second week of the month because I have Quilt Guild on that night. But otherwise, I am here every Monday night. So if you are joining me, please say hello. If you're following along and I get a little bit too fast, just I'm watching the live on my computer. Just text me and say, can you please slow down? Don't be afraid to say that. This one's going to be a little bit more complicated than some of the others we've done. So I just want to give you a heads up. But make sure you say hello, okay? So let's review the products I told you to have ready. Cut a base 4 1/4 by 11 and score it at 5 1/2 and 2 3/4. Score another piece of the same color cardstock. You want to cut that at 3 1/4 by 10 1/2, and that's scored at 4 1/2 and 7 1/2. Then get a coordinating cardstock and cut that at 3 by 4 1/2. Cut 2 at 2 3/4 and 3. Hi, Nancy. DSP coordinating with the cardstocks. 2 7/8 by 4 1/8 and 2 5/8 by 2 7/8. Then you need some white, beige, or very vanilla cardstock, 2 5/8 by 2 7/8. And you notice I added beige. Stampin' Up! Came out with a new basic beige color. So we've got 3. Very vanilla is going to be going out. So as soon as it's out, or I'll leave it for a while because people can have it at home. Then you want to choose an image or some images, or die cut images such as stems and small flowers and branches. And that's what I did. I die cut some branches and some stems and stuff. It should not exceed 3 1/4 inches because that's the space we've got to work with. Scrap of white, beige, or very vanilla cardstock for a sentiment and for stamping your images. Adhesive and dimensionals. The adhesive I'm using is the Tombow glue, multi-purpose liquid glue. Stamp sets for sentiments and greetings and images, and coordinating inks, embellishments, twine, or ribbon. So tonight I'm using Thoughtful Wishes. I'm using the Thinking of You Fondly, and I'm using some of the dies. I'm really not doing any of the stamping otherwise, but you'll see what I'm going to do in a minute. Okay, are we ready to start? Nobody else is here? Lena or Jackie or Elizabeth or there was one other lady, I forget. Somebody else asked me about it too. Okay, so the first thing we do is fold and burnish our base card. So this is going to go in. So this will be a valley. And this one is going to be a mountain. Now make sure those line up before you score it. Okay, so that's our base card. So it says using liquid glue, center the 2 1/2 by 4. And that's, nope, there's two 2 1/2 by 4s. And they're both gonna go right here on those flaps. Okay, so let's start with that. And turn my light on. Okay, so I'm going to, last week someone watched my live after and they said, that's an interesting way to glue your, your pieces down. So I said, yeah, once I've gotten it straight here, I don't have to worry about it. And I just lift it up. Okay, so this is part of the DSP from Country Flowers. This is the back side of it. The front side's beautiful, but I'm using the back side because I wanted that beige look. Okay. And this way, using this little tiny bottle too, we don't have to worry about getting too much ink on there. Okay, so now I'm going to glue that other one on this side. I'm going to turn it so I can see all sides. Make sure they're all even. Okay. Just refilled these the other day and kind of giving me a hard time. Okay, so it's still straight. Might be just a hair off there. Okay, good. Oh, Maureen, hi. I'm glad you're here. Why are you confused, Nancy? What did I confuse you with? This is DSP. This is not cardstock. Okay, so then it'll look like this. Okay, so that's the end of clue number 1. Nancy, you want to explain why you're confused? Clue number 2 says center and adhere the 3 1/4 by the 3 by 4 1/4 Oh, yeah, on the front of the small Z. I don't have 2 pieces of DSP the same size. Yeah, remember it said two and 7/8 by 4, 1/8, and then 2 5/8 by 2 7/8. Did I make a mistake on that? 4 1/4, 2 5/8 by 2 7/8. What size is this one? Oh, I got my ruler over here. Hold on a second. I don't know what I did with my ruler. Let me look. This is four by this is, what did I say over here? Let's see what number 1 says. 2 1/2 by 4. 2 1/2 by 4 and 2 1/2 by 4 and 5. Did I make a mistake on the directions? So this is the DSP, 2 7/8 by 4 and 1/8, 2 5/8. Yeah, I guess I did. I'm sorry, Nancy. You got a minute to fix that. And then I forgot to put this piece in anyway, so let me go back to that. Where is it? Not starting out good, am I? Oh, it's right here. So it told me to put all 3 of these on. So let me get that back here and finish that. I'm sorry about that. You need all new dimensions. So the DSPs, it says a 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. That's this. No, that's not this one. 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. And then 2 5/8 by 2 7/8. I don't know where that, I'm not sure what that one is. DSP coordinating with cardstock. So you need two of the 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. And one, I guess I did mess that up, huh? And one 5 1/4 by 4, Nancy. Okay, can you see these right here? 2 1/2 by 4, 2 1/2 by 4, and 5 1/2 by 4. I'll leave that there while I'm gluing this piece on. I guess I messed that up. I'm sorry. It happens sometimes. Go ahead and make your card. I will get the correct dimensions later. No, just go ahead. You got plenty of time. Go and cut your pieces. 2 1/2 by 4, 2 1/2 by 4, and 5 1/4 by 4. I'll wait for you. Because I'm having a hard time with this glue too, so I'm going to have to play with this. I'm going to get a little needle in here, see if there's a blockage. Yeah, I feel it. See if that helped. Okay, let's try this again. I gotta wipe my hands. I got glue on it now. Okay, let's try this again. You know what, I'm not going to play with that right now. I'm going to just move on to my multi glue. It doesn't come out as fine, but okay. And I think I've mentioned this before. Only put your glue about 1/4 inch from the edge so it doesn't seep out, and do just a fine line so that it doesn't squirt. This is paper on paper, so it's not going to take much to glue it. And it'll make your glue go a little further. Okay. So that's the end of step 1. Nancy, you got these numbers? Okay. Clue 2 says center and adhere the 3 by 4 1/4 inch, the 2 3/4 by 3, and the 2 3/4 by 3 cardstock on the front of the smaller Z. So first I'm going to burnish these. I'm going to make sure that they're straight. Okay, so I said get matching or coordinating cardstock. So this is going to go this way. So this is going to be my coordinating cardstock. Seems a little dark or harsh, but when you see what I'm putting on top of it, you'll understand. Is anybody else here? Just Nancy. Nancy and Maureen. Elizabeth must have forgotten. And Lena must be busy. She's got her hands full right now. She's got a very sick mother-in-law. Okay, so it says to center and adhere all these 3 cardstocks. So that is what I'm going to do. Okay, 1. So this is called a double Z fold. I'm going to put this middle one on. Did everybody have a good weekend? We did. It was kind of busy, but wasn't too bad. Guess I missed this edge here. A little bit of glue there. Okay, and now this 3rd one. It's gonna go here. Okay. Did everyone get a catalog and look at their catalog? See all the pretty stuff that's in there? Okay, so that's the, so that's gonna go like this. Okay, that's the end of 2. So here is 3. Center in here, 2 7/8 by 4 1/8 DSP on the left side. So this is what I chose for my DSP. And I only allowed for like 1/8 of an inch. I just want a little bit of that green to peep out and to, you know, you can see it in the DSP. So now you know why I picked such a dark color. You were probably saying, what is she doing? Okay. Okay, that's the first one. This new paper is so beautiful. It's got some really gorgeous, it's almost like that, oh, and it just went out of my head. The one we had before, it was, yeah, I can't think of it. So this one's gonna go here. Now I always make a sample before I before I decide, you know, what I'm gonna do and get my dimensions and stuff. So I chose to do my second one just a little bit different than my first one. I'll show you that one. It's pretty, but I decided that I thought I would do something just a little bit different this time with colors. Okay. And then on this third piece, this one is going to go here. Now, before you put this on, you can stamp a message if you want. I'm not stamping a message because I'm going to put a die cut on here. And my message will be on the front so that when I put the die cut here, it'll leave a little space to write. Okay, so this is that new beige that they came out with, a new basic color. And I'm loving it. I've used it on a few cards. I think it's beautiful. Okay, so that's our mini Z fold, okay? Okay, so that's the end of 3. Now it says to stamp an image / sentiment on the 2 5/8 by 2 7/8 white or beige. That's the one I just told you I'm going to do a die cut, and I'm going to do that in a minute because I got to cut my other die cuts, okay? Now, here's the tricky part. To center, it says center and adhere the small z to the large z. So what you got to do is close both of them, center them top to bottom, and center them as best you can left to right. Okay, but keep them folded as like this. Does that make sense? Okay. When you got it where you want it, reach in and grab that bottom panel, okay, the bottom panel, and pull all these out of the way. Okay. Now I'm going to lift this up without letting anything move, and I'm going to put ink on it, glue on it. Be sure not to go over the edge. Okay. Now I'm going to close it. Okay. And then I can close this now and this. And now I'm going to put glue on, excuse me, this portion of this panel. Okay. So I'm going to kind of put my finger where I don't want to go past. And then I'm just going to put glue. Now this is going to be an interactive card, so you might want to add a little extra glue, and then you close both of them and you put this one down. So it's not really tricky, it's just you got to make sure that you you had them both folded, and I got a corner here that's not sticking. So you want to, like I said, it's going to be interactive cards, so you want to put glue. Show me that again, sure. So you put your two pieces together like this, closed, and then you put your hand underneath, and you're only holding that bottom layer. Can you see where my hand is? Okay, so I'm going to put it back down. Put your hand in there, open everything up. Now I can put the glue, I can lift, I can't now because I've glued it, but you can lift that piece, put your glue, and put it back down. Be sure nothing moves, okay? Let that dry a tad, close them both up again, put glue on only this portion so that it doesn't seep over the edge, and then close it again, because now you've got it exactly where you want it, and let it dry, and let it, okay, Nancy, does that make sense? Okay, so now you got your double Z card. Pretty simple, huh? It looks so much more complicated, but if you close both of them and put them in like this, and just put your hand here and lift, you can glue that. Then you close it, do the same thing, lift that side and glue it. Aren't those colors nice? Now I wouldn't thought that the Lost Lagoon would look so good with the green, but I'm only showing just a tiny bit, and it's pulling out the green here and the Lost Lagoon there. Okay, so center and adhere the small Z to the large Z. That's the end of clue number 5. Okay, clue number 6. Audition your images on the front panel. So I have to cut my images. So what I decided to do is I'm cutting this stem on this paper and this on white. Okay. So I'm going to do 2 of each of them. So if you are doing stamping, so do your stamping now, okay? While I need it this way. While I am cutting my stuff out. So I'm going to cut 2 of these. take your pick to get those out. Okay, that's one. And let me do the other one so you can see it. Okay. Okay, go anytime. There we go. That's what's nice about having one of these little ones. You can put them right here and work. I don't have to cut and prepare everything beforehand. I can do some of it so you can see how I did it. Okay, so you just pick in those little holes and just pull it out. And that's two of those. Okay, now I'm going to do two of, here's the other one. There it is. That's for my message. Cut this down so it fits in here. So if you're stamping, just tuned in, couldn't find you, pretty card. Can I watch this again? Of course, yeah, there'll be a replay. It'll be on my website, and either later tonight or tomorrow I'll put it on my YouTube channel. Okay, so this is the flowers. Poke those little pieces out. This one's real intricate, so I have to poke out a lot more than I usually do. It gets in there pretty tight. Nice and tight. Here we go, that's one. And I'm going to do a second one. Okay. Okay, must give me a hard time tonight. There we go. Put that aside for now. I'm going to need it for my sentiment. So I'm going to poke this back out again. If it's not coming out, don't yank on it because you will break the stems because it's so intricate. Just go gently. To get these to come out a little easier, you can use like wax paper, and that'll help these come out a lot easier. There. That's number two. Get these out of the way. Don't need those. Okay, so it says audition your images. Oh, I still got to color my flowers. So let me do that right now. Let me get one of these to put underneath. So what I did on my last one, oops, I got a little bent, huh? So what I did was I just went and did some green here and there. I mean, I didn't cover it completely because I'm going to come back with a darker green. And I like to have some of the white poking out so that when I go back with this green again, it's going to be different shades. So I'm doing the leaves, I'm doing the stems. Kind of haphazardly. This is one of the things that can give your project a little depth when we do it like this. When I go over it the last time, I'll go over it much slower and much. Now I'm taking these little things as buds, so that's why I'm not doing those green. It's a little tricky to do this because it wants to move, but it's okay. That's why it's good to have paper underneath. Okay. Now I'm going to take my darker green. Oops, my darker green, and I'm going to go in some of the areas where there might be shadows, like these areas, the end of the leaf maybe. So wherever you think there might be a shadow, color part of the leaves. Don't have to color the whole thing because we're going to go back with the other green. Okay, we'll do this one. And they don't all look the same. Leaves are different shades and different. Looks messy right now, but you wait to see. See when I'm done, you'll see what. Okay, now I'm going to go back with that other green again. And I'm going to make sure I cover the whites and over the greens that were there already. And wherever there was white, it's only one layer of this green now, so it's going to look much lighter. So you'll have lots more variations like you would in a leaf. Doesn't always show up right away. Once it's dry, it'll be a little bit different. Okay. See how it gives it a little bit of variation. So now I'm making sure to cover all those white spots especially. Oops. Everybody has their own way of coloring and doing things, and whatever works for you. I like to try to make it look as realistic as possible. Okay, so this is going to dry a little bit. And I am going to color my flowers in Lost Lagoon, but I didn't bring those over, so let me go get my Lost Lagoon. I only have my dark one for some reason. Okay. So I'm going to leave a little white on it, like I like to do. Let me look at the message. Yes, Maureen, I have a personal page that's Shelly DeShane, but my business page is Shelly's Craft Cottage. So that's probably why you had a hard time finding it. Okay, now I left a little whites on the ends because I want it to be like that. I want it to look like it's got little tips on it, okay? Let me do this one. So hopefully you're getting your stamping and your cutting done while I'm doing this. I grew up taking art classes from a very young age. My mother knew this man that lived kind of in the next neighborhood over that was a famous artist, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I'm sure he's gone by now. Now see how pretty that looks with just a little bit of white on it? Okay, so I started taking classes when I was about 14 or 15. Oops, I missed a flower. And then when I went for my first degree in recreation therapy, we were required to take some alternative type classes. So I took a whole bunch of other art classes. Okay, so we said to audition this on the front. So what I want to do is do this. And that's why I said don't make it longer than 3 1/4, I think I said. And then one of these is going to go in the middle. So I cut 2 of these out, but one of them I'm going to trim down for the inside. Okay, so this is pretty much where I want it to be. Okay, so I'm going to start with that center one. And I do believe I cut down the very end of it off. I cut that off. It made it just a hair too big for me. I don't want it to go all the way at the bottom here. Okay, so I'm just going to put a few dabs on here. Of course, I used my fine tip one doing this, but I don't want to spend time trying to figure out why it's not working. And another thing you could do would be to, before you cut it out, you could put some of that adhesive on it. And I don't want all of it to stick down. I like to have mine stick up at the top, be able to be a little free. So I just put this amount of glue on. Okay. And then this one's going to go this way. And see how my background's got variations, variegated sort of looking? That's why I preferred to do my stems like this too, so it has that same as the background. So again, I'm going to put just glue dots here and there. Or dots of glue, not glue dots. Okay. And again, I'm going to put it here, letting it go right to the edges. And the ones I've got glue on will glue down. Okay, again here. I like to put them in the center where the stems meet. Put them where you'd like. Okay. Let me lift that up. Then I'll come back up here. And glue down the parts that oops, my fingers have got glue on it. Okay, I'm gonna clean my fingers off. Okay, so that was number 6. Audition your images and attach them as desired using adhesive. That was number 6. Number 7, I am going to, because earlier on it said to stamp inside here, and I told you I was going to do it later. So I am going to cut a little piece of this off and add this here. Just like I did the other pieces. Just a little bit of glue here and there. Just to get it to stay stuck. Okay. There. Okay. Embellish with a bow or twine or gems as desired. So I want to do a bow. My sentiment, did I say anything about the sentiment? 6, 7. Okay. I'm going to stamp Thinking of You Fondly on my cardstock. I said in your directions to have sentiments. So I'm going to make sure my sentiment is straight. And it goes this way because Fondly's on the bottom. I hope it's straight. Yeah, not quite, but I can work with that. Clean my stamp off. And then I'm going to use this die cut to cut this out. So what I'll do is I'll just angle it the way my stamping is. So let's bring this back in. And I'm going to stand up to do this. Make sure I got it left to right and at the same angle that my stamping is. Okay. And then I'll run this through. Okay, take this back off. I'm done with that. Okay, so this is going to go here to cover the edge. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to use dimensionals to raise that up. When I have stuff underneath my sentiment piece, I like to put 3 so that I catch the edges of this as well as adhere it all. Okay, make sure that's straight. And there's my sentiment. So I wanted to do some ribbon, some twine. So I took my little bow maker and made myself a decent sized bow. So right over left, and you go under with the right one. And you bring it over. So it's under and over. Okay? And then with the one that's now right, you make a bow. And make sure you pull your ends the way you want them to go. Like I want mine down like that. So what I'm going to do is put that right above here. I kind of want my ends to go behind. So I'm going to take a little glue dot, and we've talked about this before because it's much bigger than my image. I'm going to make it into like a burrito. So I'm going to roll it till it looks like a little burrito. If I can get it off. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now I'm going to put it right under here. Get it to stay. There we go. Then I'll stick my bow, the center of it right in there. Tuck any glue that's sticking up underneath. There, no sticky. Now this I'm going to cut right around here, and this probably around here, and let it kind of hang behind the greeting, the sentiment. There. Okay, and now I'm going to add some dimensionals. Now the last time I did, I think I'm going to try yellow again. Let's audition how the yellow might look. Yeah, yellow will look nice. So I'm going to do a yellow over here. Yellow up here. And another big yellow down here somewhere. There, that yellow does look nice. I'm glad I did that. So there's your card. There's your double Z card. And that paper is so gorgeous that it really, thank you, Maureen. So that's the double Z. Embellish with a bow or twine as desired. Okay, so I'll show you the one I originally made. This was my original one. I used that paper that had the really beautiful flowers on it. And then I colored the tips of my flowers pink. And I brought the paper down and used more sky in this one, where this one I used, I used the whole image, the whole desert looking thing. So this one here, the flowers stand out a little bit more. But when I was getting ready to do the second one, I decided I wanted to use a different paper. So those are my two cards. And now you've finished your fun full card. Take a picture of it and post it on the materials list. Remember at the very beginning? Go back and look for this on my website, this particular one with the materials you need to cut, and post your picture on there. I'd love to see. The best part of doing this is I love to see what people come up with. It's just amazing because they don't know the colors. They just know what they need to cut. So they don't know, anything about what I'm doing. So I just love to see what's done. So post that in Shelly's Craft Cottage Facebook page under the comments, under the material list. Thank you for joining me for Mystery Card Event number 20. I hope to see you again on the Monday of May 20th, because next week is my quilt club. So I won't be able to do a live, because we do a quilt club at 7 o'clock as well. Okay, so I hope everybody liked this. I'm sorry, Nancy, for any miscommunications. I'm hoping you can get one done. And I think people will really enjoy this interactive card. I know, I think it's beautiful. I think it's fun. I love doing fun full cards. Okay, thank you everybody for joining me. And remember, life is better when you're crafting, and there's no mistakes in card making. There's just unique creations. Have a good one. See you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.